Hi there, it's Meonicorn. As many people are taking part of Nonfiction November, I think it's a good time for me to recommend some nonfiction books. I don't read awful lot of nonfiction books, but I have picked 3 books with different topics that I have read, loved, and learned a lot. And 2 of the books that I have read this year and 1 of the books that I have read a year ago. The first book I want to recommend here is called The Power of Habit: Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business by Charles Huddick. When I first saw the title, I was very skeptical because I'm afraid it's another that book to tell people how to be successful, and that's not a kind of book for me. But it was recommended to me by many people in the last year of my graduate school, and by that time I was struggling from the conflicting and busy schedule of myself. So I thought maybe it's time to try the book. And I'm so glad that my first impression was wrong, and this book indeed helped me a lot. The book tackles on some scientific theories about habit, from how habits are formed to how we can make use of them, and also have a lot of facts to support the theories. The part I liked the most is how the author gave a lot of examples in the book, especially the ones in business world, to let us understand how companies and organizations use habit to promote or market their products. And it also talks about some personal stuff that was very interesting. For example, how and why there are some people can go to exercising constantly and how to be productive. And I think it will be a good race from both business and personal point of view. And the second book I want to recommend here is a book that I mentioned multiple times on my channel. It's Hunger, A Memoir of My Body by Roxanne. It's a great story about having a body that is different from majority of people, and her experience about being the minority at school and being an overweighted Black American woman living in America, and also the rape she experienced and the rape culture behind it. I had so many thoughts about this book, so I did a full review of it, and I will link the review down below if you want to check it out. And here I just wanted to say, if you want your eyes to be opened and want to have more understanding about others, or you consider yourself as a open-minded and considerable person, please go ahead and read this book. There always will be something new in this book that we can learn from. And I'm not only talking about learn the story of Roxanne, I'm also talking about learn of our society. The third book I'm recommending here is Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. I read this book not so long ago during the autumn readathon, and after reading the book, I did some research on the reviews of the book, and I found my opinion is a bit controversial, but I really enjoyed the reading experience of this book. In 1992, a hiker in Alaska found a young man's body in an abandoned bath, and soon they discovered that this young man was Chris McCandless, who called himself Alex during hitchhiking. And people also learned that after graduating from college, Chris left home without saying goodbye to his parents and donated all his savings to charities and went into the wild by himself. And eventually, he entered Alaska in April in 1992. Howard, the author, who is also a hiker, described Chris' life in this book, from his youth to his young adulthood, and from the relatives that he had to the friends that he made on the road. The book tried to picture the whole paintings of Chris' life and also mentioned some other hitchhikers who experienced the nature alone. I thought this book was a good read because Chris has a completely different life from me or most of the people, and I adore his attitude to nature, to philosophy and literature. But I can also understand that why there are so many people don't like this book and cannot relate to Chris' story and even thought he was foolish and reckless, and the tragedy of his death was caused solely because he was naive. But the whole time I was reading this book, I was trying to understand why he became the man that he was. I think an important thing when reading this book is not to think about the privilege Chris had and abandoned, but to remember everybody has his or her bias and limitations, and try to accept a different lifestyle and life choices even though it caused the result that is hard for you. And those are the 3 nonfiction books that I'm recommending here. And I also read another 2 great nonfictions recently, but I need some time to put my thoughts together, so stay tuned for my next nonfiction books recommendation videos or wrap-up videos. And also please recommend me one of your favorite nonfiction books down below in the description box. And until next time, happy reading! Bye!